This person writes, God bless you. Please be careful. Joan Rivers got killed for exposing Michelle Obama, the Hollywood secret. I appreciate that. I also know that if they want to kill you, they will. I mean, that's the truth. And that's a sad thing to say. But at least you'll know who did it. It was the Frankists.
I just want to be clear. Anything happens to me, blame the Zionists.
In a full year of plots against my family, and we have been in just warrior mode for so long, and I just can't even, they just won't even just let me enjoy an end of pregnancy. They're like, no, what else can we get? What else can we find? And like I said, her piece matched too much the most recent Zionist attack. There is a figurative bounty on my head. Apparently influencers making up to $1,000 to make anti-Candace and anti-Tucker Carlson videos.
Grace and peace, everybody. And we're back. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. You saw that opening. We're going to look at it. We're going to examine and ask some questions. We're just asking questions about this long history that Candace Owens has of saying that people are out after her. And I just want to ask, if you are a Candy, if you're somebody that supports her, if you're somebody that believes that she's a truth seeker and she's a truth teller, why does she show you no evidence ever? Why no evidence? Why none whatsoever? Let's bring it in. Let's talk about it. Let's go.
I also know that if they want to kill you, they will. I mean, that's the truth. And that's a sad thing to say. But at least you'll know who did it. It was the Frankists.
I just want to be clear. Anything happens to me, blame the Zionists.
In a full...
Let me jump on that. Anything happens to me, blame the Zionists. So it really doesn't matter what evidence that you have. Deny the evidence, blame these people. Forget what is actually there in front of her if something happens to her, God forbid. Blame this other group of people with no evidence whatsoever. Is that not what she's been doing already, though? Keep it going, Jason. Let's go.
I just want to be clear. Anything happens to me, blame the Zionists.
In a full year of plots against my family, and we have been in just warrior mode for so long, and I just can't even, they just won't even just let me enjoy an end of pregnancy. They're like, no, what else can we get? What else can we find? And like I said, her piece matched too much the most recent Zionist attack. There is a figurative bounty on my head. Apparently influencers making up to $1,000 to make anti-Candace and anti-Tucker Carlson videos.
I want to point out here, because that happened early on in this is during the Macron case, right? Why is there no evidence to this? Again, you can still believe in Candace. You can still rock with her. But what is your evidence that you're using to make this, to support your belief in her? She said that influencers are being paid $1,000 up to $7,000 to do videos on her. Where's the proof? What proof does she have? What proof? And this is the part, that's the thing that I don't think is really settling in. I really want people to think about, like, yo, she is making a fool out of y'all. But let's keep it going.
Anti-Tucker Carlson videos. The people have given us names and said, this is the marketing campaign that's paying for this, or this is the organization.
Show us the proof.
Foundation that offered me money for this, but you have to present concrete proof. Like, I obviously am aware that the campaign is happening, but we need to actually see the email. So you have to submit the email that you received or the text message that you received to make a video about Candace Owens. I just want to know who specifically is behind it, so we can.
So if you had proof of it, why did you not show it? If you didn't have proof, why are you going out there fishing for it? Because she still has not shown any proof of this claim at all. The $7,000 claim has no evidence, none whatsoever. You can believe it if you want to, but what are you believing it based upon? What is your evidence, your hardcore, tangible, physical evidence that's leading you to believe that that's true? Because where is it? Anyway, this is just so wild. And let me also just point out, I've heard this theme out there that Candace thinks she's more important than she is. Like, just think about it. Like, really, all around the world, people are putting out hit pieces in order to attack Candace Owens. Really, like, just from a financial standpoint, that doesn't make sense, much less anything else. But you're that important, Candace? Really? Really? Not that people genuinely don't rock with your premise, or they don't agree with your stance on topics and such like that, and just want to critique it or call you out. No, they got to be getting paid, because otherwise There, otherwise, everybody would be rocking with you. Okay. It doesn't make sense.
Out that person. 10K is now the bounty for that information. Send it to tips@CandaceOwens.com.
10K.
Emmanuel Macron is holding up negotiations to end the Russian and Ukrainian war. Unless you stop speaking about his wife. Obviously, I don't want to have on my conscience that less Christian men could have died in the East if I just shut up about something.
See, again, this is another one of those stories. She didn't stop talking about it, and didn't they come up with a peace agreement? So it ended even though she didn't stop talking about it. Why do you trust her? Why do you trust Candace at all?
I kind of go back in my mind to that conversation, and I find myself wondering whether or not Trump was being directed by somebody to give me a call, and whether he was being honest with me, if it was really coming from him, if it was coming from higher up. You know, my general perspective is that we live in a nation that is governed by the military. So I don't necessarily believe that Trump is in control of things. I can't see them wanting to make it to Discovery. I just don't see that happening. I think they'll fake kill Brigitte first. But they'll be like, oh, Brigitte passed away from stress because of what Candace did. Oh, nobody can talk about her being a man anymore because Brigitte's gone. You know, this is terrible. The French press is reporting that Annie Trogneau died on July 3rd and then was buried on the 15th in Amiens, and that Anne-Marie's daughter, Christine, died on July 19th and then was buried on the 25th. So that was 2 days after my lawsuit. Anyways, take from that what you will. We're still investigating. Things are happening. Strange events are happening. It could be nothing. Who knows? It, of course, is interesting because, you know, had those two individuals have been alive, we may have liked to subpoena them, get a statement. I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now, don't do it, okay? Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're gonna slide into his chair, okay? Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged. They would rather protect Brigitte, even though the whole world no longer believes that Brigitte Macron was born a female, right? But they would rather risk the entire thing coming undone than to just say, okay, maybe we took it too far. Let's get Macron out of office and put somebody else in there that we can control. They are taking this way too far, okay? Killing people more is actually going to catalyze the understanding that we're all having that there is something very dangerous and something deep and dark that is going on.
So anyways, like I said, if I get killed, it's definitely Zionist.
It's like, what is this? What are you guys? None of this is real. How are you just coming up with these weird storylines?
And that's the question I want to end on. How is she coming up with these weird storylines? Why is it that you allow Candace to continue to play in your face, to concoct these stories out of whole cloth, just completely out of whole cloth, and no evidence whatsoever? At least demand evidence from her. At least say, hey, pump the brakes. Before we go out here and start rioting and pitchforking, such of that nature, can we see your evidence that you have? Before we believe and start tweeting what you're saying, can we at least see what it is that you've been sent, what was shown to you, and whatnot of that nature? Can we see that? Is there somebody else that corroborated? Is there somebody else that said, you know what, I'm just going to come out and just be honest and say, hey, this is what we did, to corroborate what you're saying? Because at the current moment, the only person that's telling the story is Candace Owens. And you got to wonder why that is. You have to. Down in the comments below, let me know, do you think that that's a fair assessment? Like, at least just ask for the evidence. At least see the evidence and you can still make your same opinion. You can still hold on to the same position that you held on to before. But at least ask her for the evidence. Or do you think I'm going too far? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so very much to everybody who subscribed to the channel. We're getting so much closer to 100,000 subscribers. I'm looking forward to celebrating with you all real soon. So everybody, thank you so much. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, Grace and peace.